Like and subscribe. Hello, it is the Nightly Fix right here. Foolish Club Media. Go to our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. If you do not, go and fuck yourself. That was too much, wasn't it? That was too much. I love it. This is our, for those of you who speak sign language, this is our sign language for the night. Osita is deploying the sign language for the evening. And listen, man, I want to get into a lot here. We will get into Minnesota again, not showing up. Good God Almighty, Jesus!
Sorry,
okay?
my bad. I'm good. Hey, I'm alive. I'm here.
Just
want to make sure you hear me.
That's a worried cough right there.
That's a
man.
worried cough.
Yeah,
you should know worried coughs. Those coughs after 50, dude. Those coughs after 50 just get worse and worse.
Care what age you talking about, man. That looks like that sounds like bronchitis.
Hey, calm down. Hey,
it's going around right now. It's going around.
Why would y'all wish it upon me?
I'm not trying
to out here.
I'm not trying to wish it on you. I just feel like maybe OCR, your boss,
look, man,
the person that runs you at your job, maybe gave you something.
Look, Ronald. Okay. Right before the show, I ate a little bit of food. Probably didn't chew too properly. I hit the Benjamin. You know, some things got stuck in the wrong hole. You know about that. All right.
You sound like you don't chew your food all the time. You sound like you do a lot of swallowing and put yourself in bad spots right there. God, dog.
I am sucking on a cough drop right now. So
yeah, well, that sucks.
No, I'm good. I'm here.
But listen, there's a lot of places. Minnesota didn't show up this evening. As they're getting their asses kicked, OKC comes out and makes a statement. This thing's almost over. It has reached a 30-point deficit. And, you know, there's going to be some conversations. Anthony Edwards, going to be some conversations. Because I do wonder when we are going to get to the point with Anthony Edwards that he just doesn't he gets away with a lot of things that superstars don't get away with. And he's had several of these performances where Julius Randle has really been this team's most consistent player. And he smiles and stuff like that. And he kind of gets away with things. I wonder if that'll shift. But I want to start here, fellas. Shout out to you. One, I don't know how many days we've been doing this, but we've been at it since March 16th. And I have a blast every night doing this show. And a big thing that I wanted to do with this show was, yeah, that's all right. The big thing that I wanted to do with this show was,
I'm not going to give him that. I'm not going to give him an awe.
Yeah, I know, man. You just worry about getting that bronchitis under wraps. But one of the things,
getting a better hairline.
Don't go hair, man. Don't go hair.
Like, I went easy. There. And what?
It's easy.
What
man.
you gonna do?
I know.
Call me bald? Gonna call me milk bud?
No. Hey, when you lash out like that to the hair, you're hurt enough. So that's one I don't have to lash out on. You're hurt enough. There's no change you can make. Like you can't do like me. I can
go to Turkey.
That's the curls. I can do there's no change you can make. Again, we've established.
You said you're getting the curls. You're getting what the Stacy curls?
I can get his curls. I can grow my hair out. I can grow my hair.
A haircut next week before got a wedding.
Would love to see that, Ronald.
Oh, you go through pictures. You see me. I haven't long and put the curls in. Anyway, not the point to talk about your bet. I mean, talk about the position you've been where you've had to come on home probably before 30, which is a tough thing to deal with. But when we started this, I wanted to be able to have fun and have conversations and be a little bit more looser than maybe my day job. Because, for whatever, there's some restrictions, some cuffs that just naturally go on. And I just want to open up to you fellas and the audience, because I would say our main audiences come from two cities that I've lived in, and the two cities coming up outside of Nashville that I have lived in the most. And I enjoy both cities. I'm a kid from Kansas City, love Kansas City. I'm enjoying and loving Houston. We love to raise our family here. Um, I it's it's becoming hard, and I don't like it, and I hate it because I have nothing against Houston sports teams. There's in no form or fashion has any Houston sport team done anything to make me dislike them. No Houston sports team has hurt me or hurt my team or anything. And I knew there would be some things here or there
or hurt your team.
or hurt any team that I root for. Like I've just never
Oh, so
had.
you saying that Houston ain't strong enough to hurt Mr. Mahomes? What's going on there, man? What's up?
No, but it's funny. Like when you say stuff like that, like and just hear whatever you want to hear. That is a common occurrence from people from Houston. No, literally. I've just like my teams: Kansas, the Chiefs, the Royals, hell, even LeBron. Like none of Houston has never been a city where I dislike the sports teams. I like the sports teams. Like the going in. Serda, who was, and I know this is not aging well, but Serda, who was my favorite football player for as long as you knew me before, stuff went down. It's not Patrick Mahomes, was it?
You're talking about Deshaun Watson?
Yes, Deshaun Watson was, and it was my favorite athlete here in Houston. He was my favorite player. I did a segment every night. God, love it. I was dead wrong, but I did a segment called. We did a segment. Be inserted a segment called the Watson Plea, where I would come on every single night and plea to the Chiefs organization to draft Deshaun Watson. Instead, they drafted Patrick Mahomes. The rest is history. You got one guy who's won 3 Super Bowls, and then Mr. Horny. But nonetheless, since I have been here, it's becoming very difficult to not just say and F some of these guys. Like I don't want to, but there is a part of me because there are some really delusional, dumb people within the Houston fan base. And I don't and listen, there are delusional and dumb people in every fan base, fairly. There are delusional Chiefs fans and dumb Kansas fans and dumb Royals fans. There are. But I really run into a lot of them. And I don't want to have it. I like the players. I like CJ Stroud. I like Will Anderson. Right? I like Derek Stingley. Jalen Petrie, Stafford's own, one of my favorite players on the team, Damian Pierce, who they've given up on, but I just do just as cool. I like Amen Thompson. Right? I'm not a big Dylan Brooks fan, but I like a lot of the young core. I like Yordan Alvarez. I think he's the best hitter in baseball. But the fans,
I cannot lie.
The fans here are making it very difficult for me to have a different feel for the sports teams. They really make it hard. And I'm going to, and for 5 years I have done my best not to succumb to the nature of pulling it out of me. And Serda knows this about me too. Now, Osita, you don't because you do this. I have come a long way. I am not somebody that rubs it in. I can do it. I am capable of doing it, and I will do it when provoked. But I am not one. I am not one.
I love the new production value, by the way.
am not. I really like how
amazing.
the words are rolling out. I am not one that rubs it in because, as I've said, Osita, I've come a long way. Serda, I don't think has ever been this type of sports fan. I think since working in the business, I have, I look at it differently. I am one who, in relationships, even with my wife, leading up to relationships with with people that I saw going further than that night, one of the leads for me is, hey, I just want to get this out of the way right now. Like, I'm a serious sports fan. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, my dad and my brothers. No. No, I like I want to make sure you understand this. Like, our whole weekend could be determined by what happens to Kansas. And I mean, and I'm talking regular season, not March. I'm talking December, January. Like, can be determined by that. Steve knows I'm not lying. My Sunday in the bag. Or, hey, we're going to have the time of our lives depending on what the Chiefs do. Royals haven't reared me in as much because they've just been awful most of my life. But I've been left sitting on the steps at a stadium on multiple occasions, just unable to go on about grabbing my keys to leave. Like, I take it, and I used to take it really, really hard. I am a kid who cried in 7th grade when Mike Bibby and Jason Terry beat my Kansas Jayhawks in Birmingham, Alabama. And I cried, I cussed. I know my mom heard me say fuck, and she let it ride. And she is not one to let anything ride. And I was in the 7th grade in Raytown, Missouri, crying my eyes out. And then the next week, I was so delusional that I then acted like Kentucky was actually Kansas and that the season wasn't really over. I am bad, was really bad. Early in our marriage, it got so bad, like Courtney was like beside herself. Kansas, and I'll move on, but Kansas was up by 11 with 3:43 left, going to the under 4 timeout in the Sweet 16 against Michigan. My friends came in town. We were supposed to go to Ra's Sushi joint downtown, Serda. After this game was over, felt it was good. They blew an 11-point lead in 3 minutes and lost in overtime. And we were supposed to go, and I thought I had it. I couldn't muster up anything. I couldn't smile. Steve came in from Chicago. Shout out to Steve, who's done a lot of work to help us here on Foolish Club Media. I didn't have it. And I remember Courtney saying, are you serious? And I'm just like, what? I'm here. And then we went home, and I set up. I got in the bed with her, but then I got up at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I set up, and I watched the final 3 minutes and 43 seconds repeatedly until at 3 o'clock, she got up and appeared in the living room and flipped on the lights. And she said, are you serious? She said, are you serious? Like this ain't going to work. When we have kids, we have stuff. This ain't going to work. And you would think it deterred me. But no, I finished off the rest of the spot that I was at, and then I went back. It was really bad. And because I understand the hurt of a sports fan, I don't lash out. If you ever notice, I do not lash out at others. Now, I might mess with you, Osita, because I know you thoroughly don't give a damn. But like my producer, I know you don't. My producer, Tyler, when A&M loses, I'm like, I know the pain, man. And like, I'm not in that place anymore. I've started to see, once working in the business, how the sausage is made. I've started to see it. So I more look at stories and what I can talk about just as much as the fandom. But I used to be really bad. And I can understand that. So I have rarely, one time I was pushed into a corner like a corner badger in the last 6 months, in the last 3 months. And I've gone off and lashed out on some Houston fan. But I don't even give him that. But it's becoming very hard. Like it is beyond me, Serda and Osita. If you know the history of the Chiefs and the Texans, and if you know it, Like, I don't need to bring it out. There are people from Houston and Kansas City listening and watching this right now. Like and subscribe, please, that know the history well. The shit that Houston football fans talk to me as a Chiefs fan is just blows me away.
You deserve
Just blows me away. Like, I'm like, do you like? I'll say it to him. Like, do you feel comfortable talking this type of cash shit? Like, you can't feel good about your chances in this game. Like, you can't feel good about it, right? Like, you can't. And I don't know. It is becoming hard. I like the players. I've never had anything with the teams, but the fans, a segment of them, and you know how we do. We hear that segment louder. They're making me just want to just lose. And I don't want to do that because I like the teams. I don't have anything against the teams. The only time I want them to lose is when they're playing our teams. And it's becoming harder.
I mean, I do think there's like a villain role that you could embrace as a part of your radio personality in the city of Houston.
But that would not be me being authentic. I don't want to.
Sure.
I don't
Sure.
dislike the Houston the teams. I don't.
But-
I am starting to dislike a segment of the fans.
Well, yeah, but I feel like that's fans anywhere. Like here in Kansas City, we were very vocally supportive of a player in Marcus Peters that Kansas City Chiefs fans did not particularly love. And that was something that we got a lot of backlash for when we were on the radio here in Kansas City. And also, like, NFL fans, like, there's just some NFL fans that are, no matter what, it's ride or die with the team, and anybody that they deem who says things that are negative about the team, even if those things are fair and like subjective to the conversations that we're having of those organizations at the time, you're never going to make everybody happy. And so I understand that, but I also am not the kind of sports fan anymore and haven't been for a long time that will be affected by those kinds of things, because there was a time in my life where I would do the same thing. I would cry when my team lost. I would be ruined. Like I would sit around and rewatch football games and be upset and like go and carry it into the work week and like jeopardize relationships with people in my life over a sports team. I just don't do that anymore. And there's some people who unfortunately just never grew out of that kind of behavior.
So,
Yeah,
Ron,
it's 5 years, man. It's 5 years, Osita. I'm just having a hard, like, I'm having a hard time.
what is it that are they getting under your skin about the Chiefs, about you as a person, about about what? About things that might have happened in the past between the two teams? Like, what is it specifically?
You know, it to me, it's the weird thing of about a 5 year period, right? Of like one side talking cash shit, and then me on the other side, like like it's one thing to me if I'm giving them the same energy they're giving me. Like, it's one thing if every time the Texans lose and I come in on a Monday and I'm like, got your ass beat again. Ravens beat your ass again. Or I come in, hey, Chiefs whoop that ass again. Or I brought up, hey, 24-0, happen again. Can't beat the Chiefs. But no, I don't talk trash. I cheer my team. And to be honest with you, here, let's just lay it all out on the floor and put it out there. It has been even pushed to me in many spaces when I arrived there, hell, to even not even mention not just who I root for or who my teams are, and not even mention where I was from, which was silly because everybody can look up and see where I came from, and to imagine, oh, that guy's a sports fan. Yeah, I'm guessing he's probably not a Chiefs fan during the middle of this Patrick Mahomes run. Maybe that is the case. And like, for 3 years, I really didn't even mention my fandom or whatever. Until then, I just said to hell with it. Like, let me be all the way out. But again, I don't rub in faces. It be like it almost is. It's a no. They like. I mean, this is not trying to be. This is factual. Like they have not beaten the Chiefs like in forever. Like literally, like Serda. I don't know how many. I think the last game, one of the last games I covered in Kansas City, Deshaun Watson brought the Texans in and beat them in the regular season. But since then, there was the 24-0 playoff game that ended up being a blowout. They've played in the regular season a lot. Kansas City came here and beat them in overtime. The Chiefs beat them twice last year. They beat them the year before. Like they have owned the Texans. But after those games, the shit talking doesn't come from the person whose team's winning the games. The shit talking is coming from the team who lost. And it is just, what are you doing? Like,
I think there's like a deeper rooted thing in all of this, especially when it comes to the Texans too, because like, and if correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the Chiefs end their like 30-year playoff winless drought like against the Texans? And that was even before Mahomes. Like that was still Alex
that was
Smith.
Alex Smith. Yep.
But then it's Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson in the same draft. They're supposed to be these like generational players. And it's like Mahomes has gone on to be one of the greatest players that we've ever seen. And Watson was supposed to be that guy for a long time until all of his off the field problems started stacking up because it turns out he just wasn't a very good guy. And then there's probably still fans in Houston that are like, oh, he never got convicted of anything. Like he never got like, there's nothing wrong with it, with like what he did or whatever. Like he was never like he was never like sent to jail or anything, whatever. Like there's probably people that still try to defend those kinds of things, but I feel like it's also like deeply rooted in Texans fans' mind that like it was Mahomes and Watson in the same draft, and it's supposed to be like this kind of like Brady Manning-esque kind of thing. And it just never turned into that because of lots of issues, but also like Deshaun Watson was good when he looked really good, but he was never that good. Like he was never what Josh Allen has become.
And listen, Steve, and I am sensitive to that. And I've said it since I've been here for 5 years. Houston has a very similar like run of luck and history that the Chiefs had prior to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Very similar. Like knocking their heads on the door. The Chiefs had been to one AFC title game in 50 years. Like just like it had been a quarterbacks that are good enough to help you win to get to the playoffs, but had a ceiling because you could never beat, in our case, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Ben Roethlisberger. And then hell before that, it was, John Elway that you could never beat. So I'm sensitive to it. I just think, Osita, for me, it is hey, you got one side that is just laying in as if, like that's my thing is, I could get it if I'm giving it to you and you just giving it back and now we going back and forth. But it's like, hey man, nobody's talking shit to you.
I will say that I'm reminded of the last time that the Chiefs played the Texans and we were at a bar together with a coworker of ours, of which you bet that the Chiefs would win. And the Chiefs won. And I have never seen you talk more cash money shit in my entire life, Ron, as you dunked that man into the dunking booth. And I was looking through my phone to see if I could find a video so I could send to Serda so he could just pop it up on here and show you the shit that you were talking. But I can't find it because maybe I deleted it. But I do remember a time where you were talking some cash money shit, especially that week.
Now, again, obviously, like let's give a backstory of this. We put together an event and we put together a watch party and we did a hey, him versus me, who's gonna get into the dunk tank. We played it up to hey, Figgy, you're going to get dunked. I ain't getting dunked. You're gonna get dunked. It was a bit performative of the event of loser gets dunked into the water. Okay. If that's what you want to live on, 5 years. I can tell you, 5 years of me being here, it was that one. And then my last straw of be honest with you, not all of them are this, but the bitches who were crying and complaining about the officiating, they caught me on the air, and I couldn't, I couldn't. And then they caught the me that can talk shit, and I didn't care about their hurt feelings anymore, right? Like I couldn't. But that was if you want to bring that up, that was performative, and that was not even just performative, but playing the role of the loser goes down in the dunk tank. To me, it is if you'll come on and I can roll through any show. Hey man, I'm just gonna give you the honest truth. Texans did this. They weren't good enough today in this. She did this. I don't even come in. Like, I'll come in and, hey, they got a shot. They got a chance. They got a chance. They can play with them. They got a chance. It's the reaction of the fan base it's
And
making it difficult. It's making it difficult. And like, I've found myself a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie, Osita. I found myself a couple of times with just some of the shit that's being talked.
Mhm.
Like, come on, Steph. Knock these threes. Knock these threes down, Steph.
You're cursing
Knock
us,
these,
man. Your
knock
bad
these
juju
threes
is
down.
cursing us. It's
Knock
the
these
curse of
threes down.
Juan, man.
Knock
It is
these
the
threes
curse
down.
of
and
the curse of
the
But
Ron.
go ahead.
The
Knock
Chiefs
them
did
down.
beat the Texans twice last year. Yeah,
You know,
regular season and playoffs. So
and look, and I'm just I'm not gonna lie. It also I find it very, very stupid that Texans fans talk trash to me. Like I find like even if I were on that, I would never, as a Royals fan, talk trash to Astros fans and tell them what we're about to do to them. Because the Astros have been the gold standard of damn baseball. And the Royals are one of the worst losers in the last 30, 40 years. They've had like five, I'm not kidding you. They've had like 5 to 6 good seasons in the last 35 years. I'm not going to talk shit to Astros fans who have won 2 world championships and been to multiple World Series and 7 straight ALCSs before last year. Like I have the look that I have right now of when the Texas fan, oh Ron, you're scared. You're scared that the Texans are going to come in and whoop your ass. Why would I be scared? like, 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 and that's here. Why in the world would I be scared?
You know,
Like,
there's so many parts of me that want to start talking cash money shit, and maybe it's the Houston in me, maybe it's the Houston in me, but I feel that I know better because of like if I had the sports knowledge to back it up even a little bit, maybe you'd hear me run my mouth, but I don't. You know what I mean? You have a catalog of like 50 years because you're 50 of sports knowledge that you've gained through, just life experience that you have to back up said claims. You know what I mean? I do not have this 50 years,
well,
whereas you
it,
do.
like I'm
it's
almost
funny.
ready
It's
to
funny
let.
that
I'm almost just ready to let go of the rope. Is where I am. And here's the thing: is you would, and if you did that, which many of, and again, it's not all Houston fans. It is a select. It is a select nature that are. I'm not gonna lie, are bleeding through to me. But you know what has happened over the years when they've talked that cash shit, and the outcome is what is what it ends up being, just say, hey man, good game. Good game. I don't like it would be in the space of me to now what y'all say? It would be in the space of me to come decked out in Chiefs gear and we're all like in Chiefs gear. No, I don't. Just say, hey man, I've sat up here and the Chiefs have won multiple Super Bowls while I have been working there. You don't see me get no celebrations. You don't see me do that. You don't see me do it. Nah, keep it subdued. Hey man, I don't want to be disrespectful to y'all, even when y'all are disrespectful to me. It's just where I am with it, and it is becoming harder and harder to let go of the rope, and it is well because what gets me, and I know I'm rambling on, Serda, but it gets me is like if I make it, like if you make commentary on, hey man, the Texans struggle with this. Go back to Kansas City. What? Huh?
But it's funny that Osita brings up like, oh, he can't challenge like your sports knowledge, your
None of those
decades of
people
sports
can too.
knowledge.
50
Well, but
years.
that's what I was gonna say is like the people that are challenging him, and I mean you see this all the time on social media too. It's like you can literally follow up the things that they're questioning with verifiable facts. And they're still always just like, no, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Like it's just refusal to accept the truth because you have this preconceived notion of what your
Yeah.
team is.
You remember that time, Ron, where we were at like Buffalo Wild Wings or some shit, and some guy came up to you and he was just like, "Hey, are you going to talk about the fact that the referees didn't call?" He said something real specific that you had probably talked about 15 minutes prior, and you were just like, "Yeah, no, we just talked about that in the last segment," and he was just like, "No, but you didn't say this, and that." And he goes, "No, I have my notes here. Like we talked about it." And he was just like, "No, but you didn't say it like this." He was like, and I remember walking away from the conversation. I was like, "This is above my pay grade. I don't know what the fuck's going on." I'm
Yeah.
like, "I'm good, whatever." Like there are those, and I mean, look, I don't work for the station like that. I can say this shit. There's some fucking idiots out there, dude. There are some blithering
Everywhere.
idiots
And in
that
every city.
in every city there's a sucker born every minute, you know what I mean? But there's like some idiots out there that they have the most selective hearing, especially when it comes to sports, and they want you to say the one minuscule thing that they noticed throughout the entire game, and if you don't talk about it, then you must have not been watching the same game that I watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I think maybe I've just run up into my 5 years. This has been 5 years of it. Like I don't like the biting of the tongue that I have sitting there sometimes is like sometimes I'll look up and I know the break schedule and I'm thinking, "Mm, I am not gonna make it. There's 12 more minutes. I'm not gonna make it without saying something that will really hurt people." Because even though when you see people send stuff in like, hey, why don't you move back to Kansas City? What are you doing here on a Houston radio station and saying the critical things about the Texans? And I'm like, oh, so you got to live here to work here? That what it is? The most transit city in the country? You got to live here to work here? That what you got to be? You got to have been here? You got to be from here? Like you just
Yeah.
I said you just mad because you don't want to hear it. For me, hell, you
I'm
watched up
sure
there. You saw them suck.
But I'm sure like Nick Wright got that when he was in Houston. Like Danny Parkins got that when he was here in Kansas City. Like it happens everywhere. I'm not saying it's not frustrating or annoying, but I think it
I'm
happens
just
in every
I'm
city
just
with major sports teams.
I'm just opening up and I'm just it's becoming hard. And now it's not just bleeding to the fans because I can understand, although I think it's a real performance, I can understand what Stephen A has said over the years about Dallas. I can get it now. Like I'm a huge, huge fan of the McNair family. A great interactions, not to throw this up, great interactions with both of the the Cal and Hannah, the owner. Right. I love Dusty Baker, boy. That was one of my favorites when he was with the Astros. Like a lot of the guys there, like Ime Udoka, even though what he did to Nia Long, I like, and I like the teams. Like when LeBron retires, I was thinking about handing my membership over to the Rockets. Now
Wow.
Jason Tatum has come through,
Wow.
but I was thinking about handing my membership over to the Rockets. But now, in what I brought up with Stephen A, as he says, he wants in his mind sometimes to see the Cowboy fans suffer so bad that they have to lose. And I'm not to that point yet, but there is a real part of me that's like itching out of, God, I want them to lose all 17.
For the Texans?
just for these yahoos and assholes that talk shit. I just want them to lose all 17. I'm not there yet. I can feel the creep.
Do you see the hurt in my eyes right now?
I know it. Like
damn,
Serda
dude.
said, go full villain. There's a part of me that's almost been prepared to do that for a while now. But I won't do it. I will be the mature one. But damn, they test my damn patience. Testing it. All right, I do want to get to the heat check. Boy, I didn't know we ate up through that. I didn't know I ate up through that kind of time right there. I grossly apologize. I think that was on my heart. I think that
It's
was on
cool.
my
It's
heart.
cool. I am a fan of letting my friends vent. You know what I mean? And I feel like when your heart tells you to say something, go ahead and say it. I always lend a listening ear, even if you're stupid and wrong. But that's what we're here for. We're here to hear you out, Ronald. You know what I mean? We're here for you.
I'm gonna take some photos for you. One of these, probably tomorrow, I'll take some photos for you
Mhm.
on the old
Sexy
text
photos?
line machine,
Cool.
and I'll let you just
Yeah.
see I'll let you see the silly shit that is said. Like and maybe that's just the fan etiquette in me. Like, how in the world can you talk trash and just be comfortable with it and just hit send on that bitch? I mean, you ain't been to an AFC championship game. How can you talk that kind of shit? All right, I do want to get to the heat check, but before we do there, I just right now the final four we watch OKC, they're up 1-0 as they beat the brakes off of Minnesota. And then tomorrow, Osita, what he is thoroughly paying attention to is the New York Knicks.
Woo!
Game one host the Pacers.
I want them to win. I want them to win a couple. Just so they can think that they have the chance to win and then just get fucking smashed, dude.
You want the Knicks to win a couple. You want them to get all the way drugged to the top.
Yeah. Feel good about yourselves. Get that New York attitude. You know what I mean? Start talking cash money shit, and then just get slammed, bro. Just get
now. Now I know you understand. Like now that I'm thinking about the comments that you made about the Knicks the last couple of days of like, hold on, man, y'all ain't good enough to be able to talk the shit that y'all talking. I get
no. You know what it is? It's jealousy because New York is already so good at so many other facets of life. They are an international hub for art, music, culture. Food's amazing. They have every Fortune 500 company is based out of there. Every movie has any like really good movie usually has like New York as an extra actor in it, you know, like being that it's the scenery of New York. Or actually, every movie I've really liked. They have all these things going for them, and then like I'm glad that they have one thing that sucks about them, the Knicks. You know,
their sports team.
They got a couple sports teams. Yeah, I'm sure.
The Yankees haven't won it all since 2009. I mean, the Knicks, it's since 70.
Yeah, but they're still the Yankees, though. They're still the Yankees. You know what I mean? They're still the fucking Yankees. Like people that aren't even from there wear the hat just because it's the hat.
You probably got one. No,
I do not have a Knicks hat. I mean, I do not have a Yankees hat.
Well,
I have a Dodgers hat, like randomly, and I got it before all that shit happened. Like, but I do have a Dodgers hat.
You got to get you a Knicks hat, is what you got to do. But
nah, I'm good. Hard pass.
But with this thing rolling, like there are certain guys that I think are lead guys, maybe star or potential stars, and I think each team has one. I think obviously SGA, who had 30 points and 5 assists tonight, who is going to be the league MVP, I believe, is a star in the league. He went off and faced off against Anthony Edwards, who is a star in this league, a superstar maybe in this league. Jalen Brunson of the Knicks has really started to come about, the little engine that could, but somehow becomes the most dominant player on the court. And then Tyrese Halliburton, his father, on a standoff against Giannis, has maybe helped raise his profile a little bit. But Halliburton was on the Olympic team, is really, really good. So those are like the 4 stars left. And they are stars that, you know, are maybe under the table. I would say Ant is probably the biggest one. My question to you guys, and I'm really intrigued from the levels of what you guys and how you guys take in basketball, casual to even lesser casual. Do you think any of these players that are left, is there anybody you think can go on a run to then next year make themselves as interesting as Shaq is interesting as Steph and LeBron? Because I don't think that, if one of these guys win, they become the new face of the league. No. LeBron James and Steph Curry are probably going to be the face of the league until they shut it down. Like that's probably what's going to happen. And I don't know that there's anybody that is going to, like, there's not a LeBron in waiting, it seems like right now, or a Kobe in waiting for Jordan right now. But do you think any of these guys, if they were to go on a run and win it, could reach a level where they have the same amount of interest to where it's like, hey, what are the matchups for LeBron and Steph? Also, what are the matchups for this such and such? You think anybody has the opportunity to make that kind of run?
I mean, I think it's Anthony Edwards. Like, if he just goes insane and has like a Giannis type of run, like a Dwayne Wade pre-LeBron and Bosh type of run, like where he just goes insane and like takes over the postseason. Because
The rest of the way.
yeah, like everybody, I think everybody else on these teams like has their stars. Like Jalen Brunson's a star, but like Anthony Edwards is the guy that like he's 23 years old. Like you're still look at that guy and you're like that guy has untapped potential as a superstar player. Whereas like I feel like Jalen Brunson, we're at the ceiling of what Jalen Brunson is going to be. Like, and maybe that is good enough to win an NBA title. We'll find out. But it's like I don't know that I don't know that there's that much better Jalen Brunson could actually be. Like Anthony Edwards is the guy that I think like hasn't hit his ceiling yet, and you could see him like if he just goes on a run and gets insanely hot and just tears through the rest of the playoffs, like he's the only guy I think that really would do that for me.
Yeah. Like winning the championship doesn't necessarily put you on it. Like Tatum won the championship. He's clearly not reached the level where there is that same level of interest. Right? There are guys that are younger than him that hadn't accomplished what he's accomplished that feel more closer to be more interested in than Jason Tatum. Obviously, Jokic hasn't taken over the league and he won a title. Osita, do any of these guys make you feel like, I got to check in on this? Because I think Steph Curry and LeBron might. Do any of these guys make you say, I got to check in on this?
First, I'd like to start out by saying I don't know SGA's real name, and I've never felt the need to look it up. I just hear y'all say SGA, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, that guy. I'm sure he's the guy that plays.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He's got 3 names. All right, good for him. SGA is a way better summary for that. I'm going to say Ant Edwards, too, man. I don't know. There was something about him beating the Lakers for me that was like I got to see him talk a little bit of shit, and I was like, okay, I can rock with a kid like this for some reason. And I mean, you're saying he's not doing good right now, right? Like they just lost or something.
Yeah, he didn't have a great performance tonight. No, he's had some clunkers or some games where you're like, yo, hold on, man, that's not what we expect from a great star. But I think he's the one that has the personality.
Yeah,
he has all of.
He's definitely got some likability to him. Some likability. Continue.
I think he's the only one that has a chance. But I think you hit on something, and his chance to me has to be. It can't be OKC, and then the Pacers. Like to me, if he rolls through New York, and because if the Knicks are there, it's going to be bigger and more eyeballs. If he somehow gets through OKC, and then he gets to the Knicks, and he's playing at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, and he is ripping their ass like he's been doing. Now we get to a point that you made. We just now watched him go through. And this ain't even just completely the case because I do think Julius Randle was more important, but the narrative will be we just watched him go through LeBron and Luka. I know he was hurt, but we just watched him go through the Warriors, Steph and Draymond and that crew. Then he just went through SGA, who won the MVP. And now he's on the big stage of New York, and everybody up there is going to watch it. Mm-hmm. I think that could potentially get him to a space where we're really like, it's a big deal that he is on the marquee. It's a big deal that he is somebody next year that you're watching and looking at. I don't think Jalen Brunson has a chance. I think New York is bigger because I think if Jalen Brunson played almost anywhere else, he would not be viewed as this. But he's in New York, and that has helped him. And if he had more to him, then I think maybe him being in New York could help. But I think it is. I'm with you. I think it's Ant, and I still don't think that he'll be on the level of LeBron and Steph, even in interest. But he is the one that has the closest shot and opportunity. My man, Ant, man. I don't know if he's gonna get that opportunity. They just got just absolutely taken to the woodshed by 30 tonight.
I mean, LeBron sleptwalked through an entire NBA Finals once, so I think he can bounce back.
That's unnecessary. It really is, and I know you're just trying to hurt me. And
Is it working?
I opened up tonight, and I put my heart out there.
It's your
And this
fault.
is, and yeah, you're right. It's my fault. When I thought I had good people that cared about me around me. Heat check.
Dang, all sad. All right, guys. Well, for tonight's heat check, I did some painstakingly laborious journalistic research to provide you with the hottest takes. And in my research, I stumbled upon Drake having the audacity to call out Justin Bieber for causing, apparently, the Toronto Maple Leafs to lose a game due to him not dressing in any Maple Leafs merch. I find this utterly ridiculous, considering that the Drake curse is real. For those that don't know, the Drake curse is a phenomenon where teams that Drake happens to be associated with, or athletes that he's associated with, end up underperforming, doing awful, pretty much shitting the bed. They have Conor McGregor lost to Khabib. I don't know how to say this last name. I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. It looks like Necronomicon. It looks like Necronomicon. But
Like
after
it's
being
pronounced Masvidal.
Sure, Gesundheit, you know. Serena Williams lost key matches after Drake was spotted cheering her on. We all know how bad the Toronto Raptors have been doing since Drake decided to be on their sidelines 24/7.
No, now I do want to step in and say they did win an NBA championship, and within that NBA championship, they seemed to garner the luck of having KD tear his Achilles and Klay Thompson tear an ACL en route to winning the championship.
But this was 2019 after they decided to ban Drake from the locker room during the finals.
Okay.
Yes, so there is something to it. It's kind of crazy that he has this curse, because there low-key he does have a gambling problem that no one really talks about. He likes to spend a lot of money on placing sports bets, and it's kind of weird because he consistently seems to lose these sports bets, seeing that he has the Drake curse associated to his name. It's kind of like, his gambling addiction isn't really a problem. It's a public service. Like if you have him betting against your team, how else would you be guaranteed to win? Man's curse is so strong, he should, sportsbooks should pay him to pick on the other side. It's like he doesn't just place bets, he places hexes. But in all seriousness, I feel like Drake should be a little careful, because when you start playing with Las Vegas money and you start playing with gambling like that, it can go very, very awry, like in the case of Bruno Mars. I don't know if y'all know about this, but Bruno Mars also has a crippling gambling problem in which he is stuck playing at the MGM pretty much for free because he owes them so much damn money. That is why you see Bruno Mars in Las Vegas 24/7.
I think Drake's got more money than Bruno does.
I was going to say, are you certain that Drake has a gambling problem?
We all know Michael Jordan said it best. It's not a problem when you have the money to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, does Mattress Mac have a gambling problem?
Yes. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He has a gambling problem, and I'm tired of them taking that man's money like that. That shit is crazy. Do you see how old he is? And he's coming in with wheelbarrows of money and stuff like that. That can't be good for the heart.
He's making it either the money, or he's making it on them sales that he gets at Gallery Furniture. So he's doing he's getting it. So can I just level with you?
What's up?
Because you're not a Drake fan whatsoever. I'm curious if you ran into Drake, if you had the opportunity to be right there with Drake, meet Drake, would you even get? Would you like? What would be your reaction, or what would like? How would you be if you had the chance to be around Drake? Because and this ain't me trying to find out like if you talk this way when he's not around, but no, I'm really interested in what your dynamic would be. Would you be like you? Would you want to sit down and talk with him? Would you want to like what would be your
In
your way of going on it?
in my life, I have been lucky enough through the different facets of work that I've done to be able to meet famous people. Uh, and usually when I meet famous people, I like to try and see if there's something beyond the veil of like who this person, the persona versus like who the person is. Um, if I met Drake, I think I would try to have like like depending on the situation, if it's like in passing or something like that, I'd be like, oh shit, that's Drake, cool, and then just kind of keep going. I'm not gonna like stop to try and talk to him. But if I were like somewhere where there was a moment where I could get like 10 to 20 minutes where I could just have a conversation, then I would have a conversation. And based off that conversation would probably be how I view him for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like,
But how would the tenor of the conversation be? Like, would you legit be interested,
bullshit.
or like would you be
I mean,
legit? Because I get the vibe from you from the of as long as I've known you, and we've had Drake discussion that you don't really like Drake's get down.
I don't like him as an artist. I'm sure that he's probably a different person on stage, or like he's probably a different person. I would hope he's a different person in real life than the what he's portrayed. Because he seems to portray the villain. He's like going for the whole villain look right now. But I mean, I don't know. It's not like I would go and talk like Cash Money shit to him or anything like that. I'm not rude, you know. I would definitely try to have a good conversation. If the conversation went awry, I'd be like, "Oh, that dude sucks." Okay, now I see why people talk shit about him. Okay, that solidified that.
Yeah, I just think like there are some people where it's like yeah, man, I'm legit intrigued or interested on kind of getting to know this person, and then there's some others like yeah, I talked to him, but I ain't really like the conversation that I'm going to have with them is more or less like you gonna feel and understand like yeah, he ain't really a big fan of his. Like go back and check
But
out
but
the
but I find that kind of ridiculous though, because it's like if I'm basing a conversation with him that I'm having with him off of things that I've heard about him or things that he may have done to other people, he's never done anything to me specifically. So like if some random person comes up to me and they're just like, "Man, Osita, I heard about what you did, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Who the fuck are you, and why are you talking to me like that?" Like, I
no, I'm not.
I don't
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
know
saying.
you. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying
Like,
that I would come out and say that, right? Like there are many people. All right, let's just put it out. There are people who like interview Trump who have never met Trump or who don't have a personal understanding of Trump, but they roll into it the way they gonna probably conduct the interview. You can tell mm, they got they feel a certain kind of way coming in, and maybe they're not gonna just come out and say, "Man, hey, you are such and such and such as this," but you can tell like there is a feel with them, right? Like so, that's just what I mean. I don't think you would come out there and just say, "Yo, what about all these dudes? What about all these friends that you did fuck their girls?" I don't think you would. I don't think that you would come out and pull that number. But like if there's somebody that you ain't that's famous that's out there that you ain't a big fan of, I would feel like it would come out. It would potentially come out of how you
I
how
mean,
you
it might, but I mean, I think I would try to keep it at bay, like knowing like this person's never met me before, I've never met them in real life, and I don't
I'm
necessarily
just saying
want.
your approach is different. Like
Yeah,
I'm trying to think like who is like Questlove. I think your approach to Questlove and talking to him is genuinely like, man, I am like you. I think you really intrigued and interested in what like, and you got so many things that you want to pick his brains about, or Black Thought, like of the Roots, that I know you're a big fan of. But Drake, I feel like your mindset may be a little bit different when it comes to just easily being eagerly interested. I mean, I am. I don't
yeah.
hate Drake
Mm.
like
I
Serda
don't. I mean, I
does.
don't. I don't want to say I hate him, but I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him that much.
No, I know you don't. Hell, you just said you don't like him for his music, and I know you're not a fan about him as a person from what you know and what you've heard. So I don't know. I thought the saving grace would be is like, yeah, man, I don't like him as a dude at his get down, but man, he makes some bangers. But you don't even like that. Yeah, take us home.
All right, guys. Well, this one time in high school, I was making sweet, sweet love to a French girl.